Hello. So today I wanted to talk about something that I call own your mornings. And I get that from just my experience with, I love getting sleep. Who doesn't? I like to sleep in late. And so it's always been a struggle for me to get up early, especially when I started trying to get into the practice of having my quiet time and reading God's Word. I felt defeated all the time. So I'd go to bed, set my alarm early, and be like, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm not going to be rushed and I'm going to have, coffee and read God's Word and have my quiet time. I want to have this long quiet time and not be rushed. And then wake up and and keep hitting the snooze. And then I fly out of bed and all I have enough time for is to hurry up and get dressed and get ready to go to work. And so it's been a lot of years me honing in on this self-discipline that's still a struggle to me. Anyways, that's why I call it owning your mornings, being in control. And it's hard to be in control when you wait, when the alarm goes off and you didn't get enough sleep to override your subconscious. I mean, you're asleep. So, hitting the snooze just is hard to talk yourself out of, because you can rationalize, oh, well, I didn't really have to get up there early. And then when you wake up, you're like, what was I thinking? So I've had to play, tricks with myself and do whatever I have to do to own my mornings. One of the things that I wanted to share before I get started was, if you've ever been on my devotional blog or just on my Facebook, I use the word coffee date with God all the time and wanted to kind of unpack where that comes from. It wasn't just some cliche little, cute little title, it came from an actual story. Something, in my life. So early on, like I said, when I was struggling with trying to get up early, I would set my alarm and I would be like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I would, wouldn't do it. I'd hit the snooze and not get up. And so I remember one night I was laying there and I was like, I'm going to do this. And I thought to myself, really, don't even try. You know that you're going to hit the snooze. You know you're not. Just give up. Don't even try. And it's before I was even done with that thought, another thought popped in. And I look back now I really feel like that was God speaking to me because, it was contrary to what I was just thinking. And it was a little too witty and convicting to be from my own thoughts. And so, like I said, as soon as that thought was in my mind and before I was even done thinking it, the thought popped in that said, and this was when I was single, looking for a godly man. And I thought to myself, or the thought that came to my mind was, if there was a very attractive, godly, Christian, single guy that wanted you to meet him for coffee across town at 5 in the morning, which meant you'd have to get up at like 3:30 to get dressed, you'd go. And man, that was so convicting because heck yeah, I'd have gone, and then, the next thought was, yeah, I'd go. And then I, felt God say, but you won't meet me, And so I thought about that. I was like, if I look at it like that, yeah, if God were to say, hey, meet me across town, I want to visit with you, let's have coffee, I would get up and go, because my physical, to be able to see him physically, I love him. And so I had to remind myself, I love him even though I can't see him. I mean, that's what faith is. I love him and believe in him even if I don't see him, face to face. And so I decided, you know what, God, tomorrow morning, I'm going to have coffee with you. I don't care how much sleep I get. I don't care how tired I am. I'm going to not hit that snooze button. And I promise you, I'm not going to stand you up. I'm going to be there. And we're going to have coffee. And when I started doing that, I mean, yeah, there are mornings, I still am like, not today, God. I'm so sorry. I love you, but I just can't make it. But, that's what his grace. His grace is sufficient for that. However, I have gotten to where I love my coffee date with him. So I'm now not only doing it because I felt guilty and I'm not only doing it for him, I love my coffee dates with him. And the longer I can have them, the better. My day is just better for it. And so that's where that phrase came from. Just wanted to share that, that there's meaning behind that, behind my coffee date with God. So anyways, so another thing I was going to say, I always encourage people to have their quiet time in the mornings. And I know not everybody's a morning person. Like I said, I'm not. I may be more so than most people. I mean, than some people. But you can become a morning person. But it can actually not just get better about it. You can actually love getting up early. You can actually enjoy and also get to a point where I am, where I require getting up before the rest of the world. There is just something about getting up so early that it's still dark out and you feel like the rest of the world's asleep. At least in your area of the world, but that the rest of the world is asleep. You've gotten ahead of the game. You're up before anyone, and it's quiet. No one needs you. No one needs anything from you. It is just you and God, and it's quieter. I mean, even during the day, you can sit in the house and it's quiet, but it's not quiet. Your mind's already going. You've already been bombarded with all the things you need to do and people to call, people to see. And it's just not the same as just waking up and starting your day with a fresh slate and no one up. It's just quiet. It's peaceful, and just getting my coffee, getting my blanket, getting my Bible, and getting a Bible study, and just reading, spending time with God. I also, sometimes you need to kind of set the mood and get yourself in that peaceful state. And I've gotten to where I'll put on, if you can see behind me, I'll have like a lamp on or a candle or something and have the lights off, just enough light to see my Bible. It's just relaxing. And then I play some music. It helps me get into more of a spiritual mindset versus the physical mindset. And I'll share the what I listen to, but for me, it needs to be music without words, just instrumental and slow. And it's funny because it can't be instrumental in the sense, or it can't be instrumental to a song that I know, because I'm still going to be trying to sing that in my head and it's distracting. I guess that's my ADHD. But I've got some things that I've saved that I listen to that are instrumental praise and worship of songs that I don't even know if words exist to it. And it's just really peaceful. It just really keeps me focused, and it sets the mood from a quiet time with God. So let me get my notes pulled up here. Okay. So I kind of find the same struggle, just kind of bringing another aspect into this. That's my spiritual health. Other aspect is my physical health and working out, still. Now it's even, since I've kind of gotten on this path of, self-discipline, I've honed in a little bit more on the self-discipline of waking up early to spend enough time with the Lord. But now I find it's very important for me to also take care of my temple, take care of my physical body. And so I have to get that self-discipline in. And that took me a while. And for me, it's another one of those things that, you work out or you have your quiet time where you can fit it in. But I feel both of those need to come in the morning for me. I feel mainly what I've learned. Okay, so let me go back a while. So in January, when I started a challenge, and the only time I could find a workout was in the morning. And so before that, I just wouldn't do it. I'd say, oh, well, I'll work out when I get home, and I just ran out of time. Or I would say I would work out in the morning, but I'm not going to get up before 5. That's not going to happen. But I finally had to get to a place and be like, then you don't want it bad enough. If I don't get up early enough to work out in the morning, then I don't want it bad enough. So I finally decided, got to a place where my physical health was really bad. I'd gained a lot of weight. It wasn't just a physical thing. It was, as far as the appearances, I just felt bad. I felt claustrophobic in all my clothes. I just was tired all the time. My joints ached. My back hurt. All of that. And so I needed to make taking care of my physical body a priority as well as my spiritual self. And so back to when you do it. So the reason why I feel strongly about both of those, I've already talked about why it's important in the morning. It's your compass, or maybe I didn't. I think that was on another lesson I did. Let me go back. Hold on. Okay. So with the quiet time, your morning, it's kind of like, I look at it like this. If you were to take a trip somewhere, you would set your course before you left. Who goes on it? Well, I mean, it happens, but do you intentionally go on a trip to someplace you've never been, and then after about 8 hours of wandering around, you pull out the map and decide to figure out the best course to take? I mean, that's what we do when we start our morning without God. We got to set our moral compass. We've got to set our compass. You've got north, south, west and east. Well, we've got moral compasses. We're going to be holy or we're going to be unholy. Who are we going to serve today? Are we going to serve the Lord, or are we going to serve the world and the enemy? You can't do both. So it's important, to not wait till the end of the day and set your compass. What good is that going to do, right? You've already done your day. Your day's done. And then you go to sleep and you wake up and it's a new day. It's important to set your compass in the morning. And maybe you don't have a lot of time for that. It started for me literally 5 minutes. Like, I was just struggling to get that 5 minutes. And then I just made a rule that I didn't care how late I was going to be. I was going to get on the floor and get on my knees, my face down, and pray right there by the front door before I walked out. 2 minutes, whatever I had to do, and pray for God to guide me and help me walk out that day in a way that's pleasing to Him and honoring to Him and to myself. And so, but like I said, it's important to set your compass however you do that, in the morning. Okay, and back to the fitness part, or for both of those. Here's the other thing. So for months and months, I was getting up super early and going to work out. And it'd gotten to where I was doing it every day. And so I would rush home from work and I would be going to sleep so early. And then my husband would be coming in from in the tractor, because during hay season or whatever he was doing, he'd have to be in a lot later. He'd come in and I'm already in bed. And then when he'd wake up, I was already left. So I had to kind of cut back. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start working out right after work. And then that way I'll still be able to stay up late when he gets in and we have some time to visit. And then I'll be there in the morning when he wakes up and I can make breakfast and whatnot. And so I was trying to find a balance there, because I'm kind of an extreme person. I'm either all or nothing, black or white. It's, one extreme to the next. So trying to find balance in that. And so what I discovered, what happened was, that was almost 3 weeks ago. And I went from working out 5 to 6 days a week to 1 day a week, because when I started sleeping in later, because I could. There was really nothing pushing me to get up early other than my quiet time, of course. But so then the end of the day, I was left. You run out of time. It's like when you save things for the last part of the day, you're gonna just run out of time, especially after work. Getting home from work, getting dinner ready. Just all of that. And I'm already home. I'm already tired. I always have this mindset when the clock hits 5 or 4:30 or whatever time I get off work, I'm ready to go home and unwind. That's just me. I'm done with the day. I want to go home. And I could not get past that mindset. I wanted to sit and relax with my husband and just have a little bit of downtime to read. And I just couldn't find the time, and I couldn't force myself to go work out. I have workout videos that I do at home that I like, but in the evenings I didn't have the energy anymore. And so I this past week, so that was previous few weeks ago, this past week I decided, okay, I'm going to find balance. I'm going to go to the gym in the morning 3 days during the week, and not work out as long as I had been. I had gone kind of taking it to an extreme. And so I'm finding balance in that. And I've gone, I've worked out, I think 3 times this week so far. And I still going to go for a run later today. And while Tim's out doing whatever he's doing. And so anyways, finding balance in that, but not leaving the things that are really important. Your emotional, spiritual, and physical health is important. It's worth the sacrifice, and your family will benefit from it. When you're not taking care of yourself and you're tired and you're sickly and you don't have any energy and you're frazzled and impatient because you haven't had time with the Lord, all of that affects your family. So it don't feel guilty to make that investment for yourself, to get up before everybody else, and take care of your temple and take care of your soul, and spend that time with the Lord, and spend that time taking care of your physical body. Man, there's nothing better than starting your day and you've already done those two things. You just have no idea. And I have found, and it's crazy, I have found that even on the days that I've made, that decision to get up early, no matter what, you're getting up, no matter, and I'll make the decision, say, it doesn't matter how well you sleep, doesn't matter how little sleep you got, you're going to get up. And so, there are times I'm put to the test in that, and I'll wake up and I haven't slept hardly at all, and the alarm goes off, and I'll think, I'm just going to turn off the alarm. And then I say, no, you know what? I'm going to pray. And so I'll pray. I got in the habit of saying, God, give me the energy and the strength that I need for this day. Help me to rely on you and your power and not my own. And just be with me today and guide me and help me. And I'll tell you what, even those days when I've had like 3 hours sleep because it was just a restless night, I am not tired during the day. I am not exhausted. I'm not behind the 8 ball all day long. I got up and did what I needed to do, and I have the energy that comes from the Lord. And that makes me think of a scripture, one of my favorites, Isaiah 40:31. Let me pull it up here. It's one of my favorites, and this is another little side note. This is part of where I got the name Free to Soar. It's from this scripture that I love. I'm going to read the whole scripture. So it's talking about, God giving me strength, but I also wanted to kind of share this being my calling, what I feel God has placed on me, and this is where the name Free to Soar came from. It's Isaiah 61, 1 through 3. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. There's another part of that scripture. That's not exactly the one I was looking for. Hold on, let me find the other part of that. So that's the part where the Free to Soar comes from. Let me grab this other one. Okay, I got two scriptures mixed together, so I love them both. Those are both my favorites. So I read to you just now Isaiah 61, 1 through 3. The one I was supposed to be reading was Isaiah 40:31. And let's see, let's go there. 40, 30. Actually, let me go back a little bit further. I'm going to go all the way back to 28. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. And this is the part I love. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not grow faint. I just love that. So honestly, try that sometime, and you'll be surprised. I've found that the times that I've slept in, I'm just tired all day long, and I skipped my quiet time. I skipped my workout, and it's just crazy. So I encourage you to test that out and see. And if it doesn't work one day, just stick with it. All right, let me get back on my notes. I kind of got sidetracked. I tend to do that. Yeah, so I kind of already touched on this, but just basically, especially if you're a mom and you have kids and whatnot, when you get home from work, you've got, kids homework, you've got the kids, you've got dinner, you've got this, you've got that, you're tired, you're worn out. And yeah, you know, definitely find some time for the Lord in the middle of that. If you can, pray, put on some music, praise and worship music, invite the Lord into that chaotic evening time. But my point being is trying to find time to work out and have some real quiet time isn't easy. You can't carve out something when it's already taken place. To carve out time for the things that are a priority. I mean, your kids are a priority, but a priority in being the woman God called you to be the mom God called you to be the wife God called you to be. You have to carve out that time, and the only way you can carve it out is at the beginning of the day. Is as you sit down and you think about what all you have to do in that day, and you write down those times and say, okay, if I get up at this time, it's going to take me this long to do this. It's going to take me this long to do this. And that's how you carve it out. You have to be intentional. You have to create a schedule. And so I encourage you to do that. Let's see. I was not using my notes, which is good, but I want to see where I left off. Okay, so back to what I was said about how I think we all do this. We have these limits of what we'll do, what we'll sacrifice. And so for me, it used to be I am not getting up before 5, not gonna happen. And I now get up before 4. Well, the alarm goes off at 4. It's hardly ever that I jump right out of the bed at 4 because that's a struggle. I try to, but I'm up by 4:30. That's my goal. I got to be out of bed by 4:30. If I can get out of the bed closer to 4, I have a lot more time to move slowly into my morning. But so based on that, I had something else to say about that. It's funny because we do that in so many areas of our life, and I did that with food. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to follow that program, but I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. And then I sit there and expect to get the results that they promise. Every program's the same. They require these certain things. They require you to eat a certain way. They require you to stay away from certain things. They require you to work out this many days a week, and they require you to take these certain supplements, and they tell you why, and and if you do these things, you're going to get the results. Yet we say, I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not eating egg whites, not doing it, I'm not giving up my cream, and I did that, and then I literally would wonder why I couldn't lose weight. Well, I must have a slow metabolism. I must have some hormone issues. I just can't lose weight. My other excuses, I just don't sweat very easily. That's why I'm not sweating, and I think that's why I don't lose weight. I can't sweat it out. Excuse after excuse. And it's funny because, I had to get hard with myself. I was like, you know what? And that, at the beginning of the year, or actually towards the end of last year, and as I realized, I'm 47, or how old am I? Yeah, 47. I was 46, about to be 47, and there was just something about that age that screamed 50. And I was like, that's it. I am so unhealthy and out of shape. I'm either going to do something now or I won't ever. And I'm determined that by the age of 50 to be in the best shape of my life, because I'm not about to let myself go any further. And I resolved to do whatever it takes. No more excuses. I wasn't going to believe all the lies anymore about, I've always had to struggle with my weight. I'll just never be able to lose the weight, or, whatever excuses I came up with. I have back problems. I've had back surgery. I probably shouldn't do these things. No, I decided no more excuses, no more fear. I was going to do whatever it takes. And I was going to get up at 4 in the morning and go work out, because I already knew there was no way I was going to fit it in after work. Wasn't going to happen. I don't. Just time proved that to be true. So that you're going to get up early and do it. And you're going to follow this program completely. And, and that meant, there was 2 things I had to do, because I do have back problems, and neck problems, and wrist, and I had a problem with my wrist, and shoulder. But I was like, you're not going to skip something because those areas need more attention than any other part because they are hurt. So I'm going to strengthen them. I'm going to research ways to work out those parts of my body safely and build strength. And here I am almost a year later. I have no pain in those areas. I have no pain in my shoulder, my wrist. My back is so strong. I just can do things that I didn't think was possible. I can do things I couldn't do, 30 years ago. You'd be surprised what you're capable of doing for your body if you do it young. I couldn't have started this at 70. I mean, you can start somewhere and it's going to be beneficial, but I wouldn't have had as quick of results. However, so back to my point of making that, just saying, I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to follow this. And you know what? After 3 months of following that program completely, oh my gosh, I transformed my body. I was just surprised that I was capable of doing that. And it wasn't, the satisfaction that I got was not that, yeah, I was able to fit in clothes I never have been able to fit into, It was more than that. I gained this inner strength, and I gained more reliance on the Lord, because what I would do every morning, because I was afraid of hurting myself, I would pray as soon as I hit the gym floor. I prayed, God, please protect me from energy. Give me the strength and energy protect me from injury. Give me the strength and energy that I need to finish this well, and to not give up, and to not quit, and actually do this. And he did, he did. And I'm just stronger for it. I have more self-discipline, I believe in myself, and I believe in the power of prayer. I gained so much through that. So, just when you hear yourself saying that, I won't do that, well then, and this kind of reminds me of a funny story. So after that 3-month period and getting into shape and getting more self-disciplined, I had friends that wanted me to help them get in shape. And it's funny because, I'm really patient and I'm not pushy or whatever. My husband may say differently, but I try not to be. And so, they would say those things to me. Well, I'm not eating egg whites. I'm not getting up that early. I'm not, and I would say the same thing. I'd hear them say, I'm not doing this, and there's no way, blah, blah, blah. Right. And, so then what I'll say to them is the same thing. Then you don't want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough. When you want it bad enough, let me know and I'll help you. And it's always funny to see the shock on their face, because they're like, did you really just say that to me? And they're not used to me being tough. And I found I have to be tough with myself. So, and I know how much that's helped me to be tough on myself. And so I know no one is going to progress in their goals if they don't have accountability and they don't have somebody telling them the truth. You're not reaching your goals. Let me see what you're eating. You're eating chips, tons of chips at night, and you're eating all of this and you're all of that. You're not seeing results because you're not following the plan, period. I know there are people that have some hormone issues, but I really, even then, majority of the time, there are things that you can do. And I know there's medical stuff or whatever. I have a friend who kind of thought that herself, and it is more of a struggle for her than for me. However, she has continued to be consistent and push herself, and do it in a way that she can do for the rest of her life. Do it a healthy way, and she continually makes progress. She has lost so much weight, and she has thyroid problems, and she still loses weight. So that lie that you have thyroid problems and you can't lose weight is not true. Yes, go to your doctor, find out safe ways to do things, but you can. It may take longer, but it takes consistency. It takes eating clean, and you actually will find, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, this is just from my own experience and research I've done online and watching other people, that when they begin to eat clean and they cut out white sugar, they cut out white flour, and they cut out the preservatives, processed food, just chemicals, just eat clean. And what I mean by clean is things in their original form. Like, you know what I mean? Just eating clean and not eating a bunch of junk. You'll find a lot of time it reverses some of those health issues. can reverse diabetes. It can get rid of arthritis. I watched my husband's arthritis just go away within 2 weeks of eating clean. And I call it eating clean. Paleo, that's an eating clean diet. If you want something more structured that leaves out all the guesswork, it's something strict to follow. I mean, his blood pressure, he had dropped, that he had to get off of his high blood pressure medicine because his blood pressure dropped too low. And hormone issues, you can straighten that out to a degree, or you can sometimes. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just basing this on things I've seen in myself and friends. So anyways, okay, this wasn't supposed to be a fitness talk, but just more of a self-discipline and caring for your mind, body, and spirit. They all go in together. It's important to God that we take care of ourselves. We have more to offer our family and friends. All right, so I kind of made a list of tips. Sorry, kind of slouching here. I kind of made a couple of tips that I've made note of that have helped me get up earlier and earlier every morning and become a morning person. And so these are the things and tricks that I've had to do. So before I go to bed, I'll kind of resolve. That's the big thing, because you can't make that decision in the morning because you're sleepy and you're tired. So you have to make that decision before you go to sleep. And so you resolve, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to have my quiet time and I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to do a workout video, before anybody wakes up. I'm going to have all of that done so that there's no excuse and there's nothing that's going to sidetrack me. And so, but what you have to do is go one step further with that, is you got to write down, sorry, my laptop keeps slipping off the pillow. You got to write down the times. You really have to break it down. And I am, especially for me, I'm ADHD and I'm horrible with time, And so I get a piece of paper and let me see, did I bring it up here? I thought I did. Yeah, it is. So, and I keep this piece of paper beside the bed of my morning. Let me see if there's anything that, so I don't know if I can get this to come in very well. I don't think it does. Anyways, you kind of get the gist. It's kind of long. This is a morning, and so I have to break it down because there's so much I have to do. I'll read it to you. So I'll write down 4 a.m., get up, no snoozing. And then underneath that, I'll put 4:05, brush teeth, 4:10. I mean, I have to be deliberate because then I can look at my clock and see, and I'll keep this piece of paper with me and see that I am on track, because I waste too much time dilly-dallying. And turn the coffee pot on. I'm not going to go through the time, but you can kind of see, get up, brush teeth, feed the cats, turn on the coffee pot, start my protein shake in the blender. While that's blending, this is so that I can have enough time, because I have a long drive to get to work, and I have to be deliberate. Anyways, so I have all that written down, all the things that I need to do, and that's a lot. I don't know if you can see. From this to here is 30 minutes. I have to accomplish all of that in 30 minutes, and I do, because I stick to, what am I doing next? Because I can't think clearly in the morning, and so it helps me to go, what am I doing? Oh, I need to brush my teeth, because I'm tired, and I get in a routine, and this comes more easily. But so then I've got leave for gym at 4:30, and then get to the gym and start working out 5:15. Start working out. And then 6:30, I have alarm on my phone for a lot of these big things, like 4:30 a.m., alarm goes off, time to leave. Oop, gotta go. At 6:30 a.m., my alarm goes off while I'm at the gym. It lets me know, okay, gym time's over. You gotta go get in the shower so you're not late. And then I give myself 45 minutes to get ready. 7:15, quiet time and breakfast. For me, I just do that. I put on some headphones. And on the days that I go to the gym in the morning, and I put on my headphones so I can drown out everything else. And they have like a little couch sitting area. It's kind of dark in there, so it's kind of the same setup as my living room. And I just kind of get in my own little world and do my own little quiet time and study there. And then I usually bring breakfast. I usually prep and make some kind of breakfast either the night before or the weekend before, and have that already ready for me to grab. And I put it in this little cooler that keeps it warm, and along with my coffee, I make my coffee, put it in there, I keep it all warm, and that goes to the gym with me. And when I sit there, I've got my warm breakfast and coffee, and I just enjoy my quiet time. Then I got the alarm that goes off that tells me it's time to head to work. And having that piece of paper, it's funny because I have that piece of paper and I look at how tight that schedule is to be able to accomplish all of that in 30 minutes. Then those are the times that I don't hit the snooze. I don't, because I know that if I hit the snooze, everything from that moment forward's gone. Like, it's shot. It's shot. And so I resolve and I tell myself before I go to sleep, you're not hitting the snooze. You're going to stick to this and you're going to do it. Then you get in this habit of waking up and not even, your subconscious doesn't even try to talk you out of it. Like, you know, when you get in a habit of something, it's natural. Well, that becomes natural to not hit the snooze. It can actually become something you don't even consider. And I can easily get back in the habit of being lazy and hitting the snooze, and I have to break myself of it. I've done that recently. So I'm getting back to telling myself, you know, looking at my schedule and just following it. So, okay. So write down on a piece of paper, have it ready the night before, and resolve to do it. The number 2 is that so this is actually part of number 1. So actually how I create that originally was I started from the bottom up. So I said, okay, I have to be at work at this time. The gym is this far from work, so I got to leave the gym at this time. And from there, and this may come natural to people. I am horrible with time management, so this is how I have to do it. I have to go backwards. So do it however works for you, but I find that's how I determine what time I'm going to get up. So that works for me. Let's see. And then the more you repeat yourself, so like I said, just resolving, when you repeat yourself over and over, your subconscious begins to get the memo. So you're like, you're getting up and you're not hitting the snooze button. You know, you got to talk to that inner brat and be like, no, you're getting up and you're not hitting the snooze. And you'll find your subconscious will obey you over time. And the self-discipline you get from that begins to carry over during the day, because you begin to have confidence in yourself and your ability to make good choices. You know, you begin to realize you are strong enough to be self-disciplined and deny yourself extra sleep or anything else. You know, there are so many other things that as Christians that we need self-discipline for. Okay, number 4, let's see. I already talked about this part, that if it's, you know, you wake up and you didn't get enough sleep and you're tired, that you pray for God to give you the strength and energy for the day. And then as I'm getting ready, sometimes I have to say this in place of the thoughts that say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I got to go back to sleep. I got to go back to sleep. Because I will if I keep saying that. So I have to keep repeating, God, give me the strength and energy for this day. Give me the strength and energy for this day, God. Please help me to, you know, make it through this day. And it really helps. You know, you can't get rid of a thought without replacing it with another. Let's see, 5. Like I was saying before, so when you do this over and over, you begin to feel more successful and confident in your ability to do anything that you set your mind to. It just empowers you. When you learn to own your mornings and have control over your self-control over anything, when you learn that it is not your feelings and how you feel that drives you and leads you to success, because it won't, that you have the self-control to do anything that you set your mind to. Just being self-disciplined can lead to so much. You begin to realize you have self-control and grit. I like that word. Let's see. Talk again about that inner rat, and that when you are in control of your actions, you instead of letting your inner brat wreak havoc on your life. Let's see. I think that's it. Pretty much kind of went over, you know, setting the mood, playing some music that helps you stay focused. And I didn't really get into, this was more about owning your morning and just making that time. I will do another video on what that actually looks like to have the quiet time. What do I do? What are things that I study? And I don't have it, there's no perfect way, whatever works for you. For me, it took me a long time to come up with ways to do that, because I'm all over the place. I'm a hyper child, and to stay focused. And I struggle with just picking up the Bible and reading it. I need some guidance, and so I usually follow a Bible study and just little stuff like that. So like I said, I'm going to do another video that goes more in depth on what is my quiet time with God, what is my coffee date with God, what does that really look like. And so I'll be doing that sometime this week, and I'll be sharing that with you. So hope this is helpful. I hope this helps you to dig deep and find a program and follow it. And that's one more thing before I go that I want to add. Too many times we keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, and it's not going to happen. And like for me, I would just go to the gym, and I'd look up in a magazine or whatever what workout I needed to do and do that with, because I'm sometimes one of those people that I want to make my own way, and I'm learning so much more that, go to people that have already done this, experts on this kind of stuff that have gotten proven results, and follow them. And when I finally got past that and found that program that I did in January and stuck to it, because I realized how little I did know, and I'm going to go into that more in another video too, about the misconceptions and the things that we learned in the 90s, the 80s and the 90s, and probably before, I don't know, but I was a kid, I wasn't dieting in the 70s, but in the 80s and 90s, just the things that we were taught that would help us lose weight is so wrong. And when I could undo all of that and learn from someone else, it was so important. So I recommend you finding a program that someone else has done and got actual real results from it, and following that, reading it, studying it, doing what it says. Don't make up your own thing. Don't just pick and choose what part you like. Follow it. If you want the results, just do it. And it's only, usually it's a 2 or 3 month commitment. And I wouldn't recommend doing anything longer than that. You can take a little break of maintenance and eating clean still, but just not to that degree of trying to lose weight. Spend a few months not trying to lose weight, but just maintaining and eating clean and continuing with the good habits. But follow it to 2 to 3 months. It's not a long time to make that sacrifice for your health. You got to invest in something. And the other thing, when you you buy into a program like I did, it keeps you accountable. I was paying for gym membership, I was paying for that program. I had some skin in the game. I made an investment, therefore I'm going to stick to it. So be willing to make an investment in yourself in a way that's going to make you stick to it and be held accountable. And I also recommend finding a group, that you have. I have a group, you can join mine. There's millions of groups out there that you can join for accountability of any kind, whether it be spiritual or physical or both. So anyways, all right, so I'll end now, and let me end on a prayer. I always like to end with a prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for giving me the ability to share with others, to share my faith freely, and thank you for all that you do for us, God, and help us to hone in that ability to have some self-discipline, God, that we will learn how to have the self-discipline that comes from you, God, and to rely on you for that power, to rely on you for our strength, our self-discipline, our mental, spiritual, and physical health, God, that we will turn to you and pray for you to guide us in that and what that looks like for us. And more than anything, God, as women, and trying to find balance in our life, God, we stay so busy and we're so responsible for so many people and so many things, God. Help us to carve out that time for ourselves, God, and help us to not feel guilty about it, but help us to find balance so that doesn't spill over into the other areas and rob our husbands or our children of the time they need from us, God. Help us to find that balance, God. Thank you so much for all your many blessings. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. I hope you have a good day. Thank you. Bye.